Wait, that's an opera, isn't it?
It is, but I was going along with it because I'm a good co-host.
Welcome to our podcast. We're
Welcome to our
back
podcast.
from our mental health hiatus that I asked us to take.
And I said, okay.
My name is Patrick.
And my name is Jordan.
And we're your hosts. And if this is your first time listening to our podcast, we are a ASMR horror review podcast where we get a little shit-faced and whisper a little.
And in this episode, we're also dancers.
Ooh.
We're the dancers.
I don't know if you can tell, but I really committed and I'm wearing tights that should not go on my body, but they are for this
I think
episode.
you look fabulous.
Thank you. It's because I love our fans, our audience.
We love you. So if you're on Spotify, make sure you're watching the video because we dressed up just for you.
And if we're not on Spotify, I'm also going to tell you, I'm going to say it on the recording, so I have to do it. By the end of May, we should be on YouTube.
Ooh, ooh,
Ooh, ooh.
ooh, ooh.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, what have you been doing? We forgot how to do this. We took like 2 months off, so.
What have I been doing? Honestly, just work. Work. And lots of sand volleyball. But next week, I'm taking my first vacation that I've taken in almost 2 years. Years. And I'm going to Mexico.
Mexico. What part?
Cancun.
Ooh, I'm going there in August. You know that because I invited you and you said no.
I couldn't. But yeah, what about you? What have you been doing?
You know, my parents went on vacation, so I went and house sat for them, which is really exciting. I just sat in a house for 3 weeks.
That
2.5
sounds like
weeks.
Skinamarink.
It was very not scary and very boring.
Oh.
But I did
So was the movie.
appreciate the... Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay, it is like Skinamarink. But I did actually take the time to watch a lot of things though. So
Me too. I have 20 things that
God.
I've watched, but don't worry, I won't make you
mine's-
listen to all of them.
mine's shorter than that.
Oh, okay.
I watched the first thing and most noteworthy, I think, is I watched The First Omen,
Okay, I still haven't seen that.
which I thought it was fantastic. I would
what I've
love to one
heard.
day do a whole episode on the Omen series because there's 6 of them. There's a bunch. But I thought it was really good, and I thought I was over the horror reboots, and then I saw that, and I was like, pleasantly surprised.
Wow, I'm excited to see it.
Pleasantly incorrect.
Anyway, I'm really waiting for The First Omen to come and stream because imagine my surprise when I took my happy ass to the movie theater on Sunday to watch the movie we're going to be talking about today, Abigail. And for some reason, I keep wanting to call it Isabel.
Isabel.
Abigail, Isabel. And then literally yesterday it went on Amazon Prime. I was like, oh my. I wouldn't have had time to watch it anyway, so it was fine. And actually, that was the first time I had gone to the movies by myself in years, and it was great.
I thought it was a great time. We'll talk more about it here in a little bit.
Yes, we will.
I also watched I started watching Channel Zero. Have you seen that before? It's like a
Never heard of it.
anthology series that's horror, but on I think it was originally on Sci-Fi.
Oh.
It's
Whatever happened to sci-fi?
I think it still exists.
It does?
I think so. We just don't have cable anymore.
Oh, well.
I'm sure it has its own streaming platform like everything else, probably.
Yeah, probably.
But I watched that. I liked the first season was interesting. The second season was really good. The third season I am not finished with because I'm bored. So, but
Really selling it.
I'm gonna truck it through.
Okay.
The reviews on the third season said it was one of the better of the 3, but I don't think I agree so far.
Okay.
I watched Terrified, which is the first movie that the guy who did When Evil Lurks.
Yes. Yes.
And
That's a good one.
I thought it was great. I mean, I thought it was scary. I think again that director, people love his
Style.
stuff,
Yeah.
but I think that his storytelling is.
It's mid, bro.
But his scares, top tier, for sure.
No cap.
Not again.
Sorry.
Not that too.
Hey, she gets so inspired by the youth.
Just they're so inspiring to us. And then I watched Baby Reindeer. Did you ever finish that?
Oh, yes, we did.
Oh my gosh. I consider that a horror series.
That was really upsetting. Yeah, I agree.
know. The end of that made me real emotional. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, but now there's a bunch of crazy stuff coming out about the real Martha, and she's threatening to sue. I think she is suing Netflix and the guy, and anyway.
Which doesn't surprise me that she would do any of that at all.
No, well, yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, yeah, okay.
Like he knew what he was getting himself into.
I imagine he had to think about that beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And then that's pretty much it. Worth note, I did also watch the first season of True Detective, which I think we talked about a while back, though. You had watched it. Not the first season, the newest season with Jodie Foster.
Oh, yeah.
It was spooky and very good.
I liked it. A lot of people, it's one of those where it's like you either really loved it or you didn't.
I thought it was very spooky.
I thought it was really spooky too. It was creepy. I thought it had more of like a creepy factor than the other seasons. Mm-hmm. And that episode, the episode towards the end, I was like, it was good. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did not know what was happening the whole time. I was like, the fuck?
Yeah, it was a little confusing, and there were some episodes
in a good way.
that
I like that I didn't know what was happening.
See, I don't, because then I started asking questions, and obviously no one else knows what's going on either.
So Mason's like, shut the fuck up.
He literally is like, can you just watch the movie? And I'm like, I literally can't. I need to know. I don't understand. And even when I went to the movies by myself on Sunday, I was like, I don't have anyone to ask questions to.
You're like, hey, psst,
what's going
on? What is this movie about?
Yeah. Who's
the person next to you was like, I'm gonna call a manager over here.
Yeah. They're like, ma'am, this is a warning. The next time we're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Ma'am, I'm eating a pizza. Were you there when the guy?
Yes.
Have we already talked about that on the podcast?
I don't know.
I think we did.
Where were we seeing? Barbarian?
I don't know. All I know is the guy next to me fully dropped a pizza
whole
face down on
pepperoni
his
pizza.
Shorts and bare legs. It was very funny. I had a hard time not laughing at that.
He was like, "Oh man, I would have cried." A whole pizza in my lap, face down in my lap.
No,
I don't even have that.
For the record, that Alamo specifically needs a table that you can move because it's like so far away.
Yeah.
So I understand why that happened too.
Well, yeah, but still. Some things that I've watched.
Yeah, what do you watch? Tell me.
I'm only going to tell you the things I feel very strongly about because look at my list; it's pretty extensive.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to remember because it's been so long. Okay, I did watch a documentary that I do want to recommend because it's along the lines of like true crime / horror. It's on HBO Max and it's called The Fire That Took Her.
Ooh.
And it is very, very upsetting. So
it's about Alicia Keys?
No. It's about this woman. She is in a very abusive relationship. They are getting a divorce and there's an argument outside of like this gas station and he dumps gasoline on her and sets her on fire.
What a dick.
And the security cameras capture it. This woman somehow survives for like a year in the ICU, but they know she's not going to live. Like she knows she's going to die because she doesn't have any skin.
Oh my God.
Like it burned her nose and ears off. And anyway, she knows she's not going to live. Like she doesn't have the immune system to get out of the hospital. So they have a murder trial for her where she is testifying because she's still alive. So they are testifying. She is the victim in her own murder trial, and she is testifying as the murder victim.
Whoa!
While she is still alive, and it's all recorded. Like they have it. She's like doing it all virtual because it's. I don't remember what year it was, but.
Holy shit! That sounds really interesting.
It's really, really interesting. Please go check it out. Although viewer discretion is advised. It's like very it was very like. Upsetting.
That's one thing that I don't want to happen to me the most. Like if I had to die or get brutally injured, if they were like, "What's one thing you don't want to happen to you?" It'd be the burning.
Oh my gosh, I know.
It's the most painful thing.
Oh, it's the worst. I mean, you get no relief. Like there's nothing you can do. What are some other things? Okay, I do have to say, I know this is a horror podcast, but I tried to watch the new Mean Girls and I made it 2 minutes and I had to turn it off. That's all.
Paige said the exact same thing as you.
Really?
Paige made it 2 minutes into the movie and turned it off. She was like, I can't do this.
I couldn't.
I enjoyed it for what it was.
Okay.
I finished that and said, wow, that didn't need to exist, but I had a fun time sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. It was too cringe.
It's like that, we're theater people, but it's like when I watched Mamma Mia for the first time, and by that I mean I tried watching it for 2 minutes and I turned it off because it was too gay.
Too gay?
Too gay. Not in like a fun gay way, in like the derogatory way that Hillary Duff used to speak out against. Like, when you say gay, do you know what you say? Yeah, I was saying it about that movie. That movie was fucking gay. And I'm allowed.
I liked it. I'd rather watch that than Mean Girls, but
maybe I'll give it another shot now that I'm a little bit more
we are.
comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah, we'll unpack that later.
I'll talk to I almost said my therapist's name on the podcast.
Hey, shout out. I did finally watch The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
I still haven't seen it. I heard it was bad, though.
I actually liked it.
Oh.
I watched it and I was like, this is not as bad as what everybody's saying it is.
Yeah.
Like, there are parts where I'm like,
wasn't the vampire like Guillermo del Toro designed? Or maybe I made that up.
He could be. I don't think so. Maybe. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good watch. It was entertaining. I thought the acting was fine. Special effects were fine. It's one of those, like, if you're looking for something to watch, I would say, yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah, I love a vampire movie sometimes.
It was pretty good. Better than I thought it was going to be. A couple of other things that I watched. I watched the new Night Swim movie.
Heard that was
horrible.
Really I saw it was at the bottom of that guy who we always share his videos back and forth. He's like that TikTok
horrible
guy.
If you want to go laugh, you can go check it out. But if I were in that movie, I would not let my family watch it. I'd be like, please don't. Like, I would make sure that never happened. Like, that's how bad it was.
Oh, that's really bad.
It's really bad.
It's like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey bad. Did you ever watch that?
But see, but I feel like I would be more okay with them watching that because it's like, it's going to be bad. With Night Swim, I feel like they really thought they were doing something.
Yeah, the trailer made it look interesting.
The trailer really like, that was the best part. If you want to watch the movie, just go watch the trailer. But
I just remember watching the trailer and being like, just get out of the pool.
Yeah, why don't you just
not swim?
Yeah, hello. And then the last thing that I'll say is I know everybody is talking about the new Fallout show. Oh my gosh, have you seen it? Oh my gosh, me too. I know it's, again, not horror, but it has some horror elements.
It is horrifying at sometimes.
Yeah, it's got some creepies. It's so good. I know everyone and their mom's watching it, so I don't have to tell you, the listener, to go watch it, but
I feel like it's not a big departure to go from like horror to like disaster genre or like dystopia.
Yeah, well, there's monsters and creepiness, and it's got a sense of dread to it. I feel like that in The Last of Us were so successful, and we're fans by pretty much everyone that watched that. So I feel like we're gonna get a few more. Hopefully, we'll get a few more video games. They keep making remakes.
Video games specifically, because there's so much good content there, and like, I think it's just been so overlooked because they weren't taken seriously.
I think they were also afraid that it wasn't going to be like people weren't going to be interested because like I don't want to watch a movie that's based on a game.
Yeah,
because not everyone's a gamer.
And they also just watched probably like too many Mortal Kombat movies, and they're like, "This is bad." I'm like, "Well, that's because the only story in Mortal Kombat pretty much is the fight." And that's
the fighting, yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of character development. So yes, those are some of the highlights that I've been watching.
I love that. Love that for you. Well, did you want to take a little breaky break?
We're gonna take a little breaky break and then come right back
with shots and then Abigail.
Who's Abigail?
The movie that we're
talking
about.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. A joke.
We're gonna have Abigail here
live.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. We'll be back. Now kiss.
That was some good ASMR.
Back. It is kind of. Those are shot glasses if you didn't know.
Ugh, I hated that. I hated that. You're done.
You're done. I'm so sorry. We're taking a shot first because that's what we do here on the podcast.
Hi, if you're new, take a shot with us, unless you're driving.
Or alcoholic. Don't do that. Don't fall off the wagon. Stay on that wagon. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. That's kind of a big shot glass.
Yeah, no, I'm good. That's great. Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. I miss Vine. No, that's the big one.
I think they're both.
Okay, now I'll take this one.
Cheers.
I'm not going to be able to drink all this. This isn't...
Wait, gotta make him kith.
Oh.
Cheers. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to finish that. There's something about warm liquor.
Warm tequila. Tequila especially.
It just like burns that like...
In your soul.
Yeah. But that's good because I was
of,
feeling a little phlegmy earlier, so...
Speaking of burning in your soul, today we're talking about Abigail, the new movie. Starring... Oh, no. I'm going to pull it up. Alicia Ware, who was amazing.
Where?
Little girl. Who? What? And Melissa Barrera are the two, I think, leads. And I guess Dan Stevens is also a lead, too. Mr. Beast from Beauty and the Beast. And also, I guess he was on Downton Abbey.
Was? I was like, why does he look so familiar?
He played the Beast.
Okay.
And he was the guy who died in the car accident in Downton Abbey. Did you ever watch Downton Abbey?
No, I don't watch Downton Abbey.
It's not a good show.
Oh, it's not?
I mean, do you like shows where nothing happens, but everyone's just got money and they have rich people problems?
Oh my God, I love that. Do you watch Selling Sunset?
I actually do love Selling Sunset, though.
So it depends, I guess. But yeah, you're right. If unless it's like real... Oh my gosh, I love Chriselle. And much to, this is unpopular opinion, but I like Christine too. I just love her for the plot.
I had to stop watching it. I used to like put it on the background when I was working, but like my blood pressure was getting so high because of fucking Christine.
I know. I love how horrible she is. Like I don't love her. Like, ooh, I love her. I think she's great. I just love that she... So when she wasn't in like this newer season, I
know I lost interest and stopped watching because
exactly.
I liked her as the villain and everyone else felt forced.
Exactly.
But this is not a Selling Sunset podcast. But if you want to give us a house, Chriselle, because we love you, I would love a house. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Abigail, which was okay. Actually, I want your initial thoughts first.
Okay, my initial thoughts. I liked it. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I liked it. I would put it in the same category as Megan. Where like it's fun, it's kitschy, it's like childlike, but a little bit of camp.
Yes.
You got some gore. I'm really still enjoying. I know we're kind of like, this is kind of overplayed, I think, at this point.
The kitsch.
Yeah, like it's fun. Like
I still like it.
Horror comedy. I like it too because horror, in my opinion, most of the time, like no one's taking it seriously, and so I feel like if you're
gotta lean into it,
exactly, you have to lean into it. So I liked that, and that's why I'm comparing the two. I think also because you have like a little child, whether it's a vampire or a robot.
I love it because horror, like a lot of times, like I love a Midsummer or a Hereditary, but those movies like tried so hard to like be taken seriously, and they should be, but a lot of horror creators I think resign to the fact that like they're not going to get major Oscar noms for this, so they're going to have a fun time and make a really fucking fun movie. And I've seen a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and it looked like they had a really good time making this movie. It looked like
it was a good time. I saw somewhere someone compared it to, it's like a horror movie Breakfast Club.
Yes, it is.
So if you like the Breakfast Club, you might
might like this movie. I really enjoyed it. I think I'd probably give it like a 7.
Yeah.
7, maybe 7.5 if I'm being generous. Some of my like initial observations. Okay, first off, I think this is really important. I think that the biggest weakness this movie has is the marketing of this movie.
I agree, and I know exactly what you're about to say. Because
I think they're like, if you have ever seen the Quentin Tarantino movie From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
I feel like that is the first example I can think of something that did not get marketed as a horror movie, got marketed as this Quentin Tarantino action film, and totally didn't clue you in on what was going on until like the third act of the movie when you're like, oh my God, vampires.
Yeah.
And truly, like, I didn't know anything about that movie and didn't see it until I was in college because I never read anything about it. And
I think I made you watch it.
Yeah. I didn't know it was a horror movie when I started it. Well, I was like, oh, what is this? I
have a bone to pick with my parents because I was still living at home with them when I was like, ooh, what is that? It looks like it looks like a good movie. And they're like, oh yeah, watch it. Like, and they had seen it.
Did they ruin it for you?
No, they didn't tell me anything.
Oh.
My parents are woke, y'all.
That's great. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they did that for you.
And I had the same reaction, but I'm with you there. God. And I would also compare it to Barbarian in a way where they did the same thing with the marketing. It's like they gave you just enough to where you want to see it, but you had this like beautiful surprise and like that shock value as an audience member. So I agree. I feel like
it's written as a mystery too. Like you spend the first half of the movie being like imagine that you never saw that trailer. They're a little heavy-handed with it, but there's so much where I was like, what is happening? Like if you didn't see the trailer, I've told a lot of people who were like, oh, I haven't heard of that. I'm like, don't watch the trailer, but go see it.
Yeah. Mason hasn't seen the trailer either.
Yeah, tell him not to and tell him to go see it.
How have you not seen the trailer?
Because I think that it would have been so much better. Like that one little change, and maybe like, I don't feel like it was too heavy-handed. The lines about the guys being like the henchmen being ripped apart maybe could have been phrased differently, so it wasn't so clear.
Yeah, obvious. Yeah.
But like, I think it was just set up for. There were so many like Easter eggs in the back that like told you. That
you're like, vampires. We get it. She's a vampire.
Like, there's the statue of the man with the little girl.
Yeah, and the portrait. Painting. Yep.
And there's a seal that apparently looks exactly like the seal from like Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh yeah, the dragon looking thing.
Mm-hmm. And what else? There was other things. Her name is Abigail, which means like, for whom your father is pleased in or something.
Oh God!
It's like the working title for the movie was Dracula's Daughter, which I'm glad they at least didn't do that.
Yeah, like, interesting.
That would have been even worse.
Hey, well, if your name is Abigail and you're listening to this, I'm so sorry, but
yeah, it's kind of creepy.
I'm with you because I think, and I know you said her name. What's the little girl's name?
Alicia Ware.
Alicia Ware. She is such a strong actress.
She's fantastic.
She's so good.
I'm so excited for her career.
I know, me too. I'm so excited to see what she's gonna do next.
Do you know she's Irish?
Yes, I did.
Which is wild to me because in Matilda she played British, and I thought she was British.
Yeah.
And then in this she played an American accent, and I literally could not tell.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you're fucking good at this.
She's so freaking good. I think she would have sold it. Like, if I had gone in not knowing that she was a vampire, I would have been like, oh my God, this poor girl. Like, these evil people. And then when she turned, I would have been like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, I read on IMDb something about her rehearsal process or her filming process for this. And she was told the whatever interview that she was playing two different characters. She was playing Abby, which Abby was the little girl, the innocent little girl. And then in the scenes where she was playing the vampire, she was playing Abigail, which she completely did two different embodiments for. And I you could tell.
Yeah.
She did it really, really well.
She's
another
so good.
Acting strong suit, I thought Melissa Barrera was fantastic.
I want to say that as well. However, I don't know if you noticed this, but her voice sounds like Paris Hilton.
It does. I don't think that's a bad thing.
It's not, and I don't know why I know. Like, I didn't notice it in the other films that we've seen her in, but in this one, I was like, she's worked on her dialect and her like tone. It's much more clear than it used to be, and she sounds like Paris Hilton.
Yeah, I think her like emoting and everything in this movie felt very honest. Like at
she
the
did
end
really,
of the movie,
really good.
At the end of the movie, when it's like she's really emotional, I was like, damn girl, like
she's been putting in the work. And we said this
classes.
when we talked about the latest Scream movie. She's been putting in the work.
She's better every time I see her.
Every single time. Yes, no, I agree. I thought the exact same thing when I was watching it.
Which is honestly to me more impressive than seeing someone who in every movie you've thought they were good. Because like they did something, maybe they weren't as proud of themselves or something, or they got some advice to get some acting classes and they went and did it and it worked for them.
Yeah, she I could tell a big
she has the it factor. Like she has the look and like she knows what she's doing. She just needed to hone in her craft a little bit.
Well, and the character she played, it's a lot of like subtle acting with their face. Like she is like the character that stays cool, calm, and collected the whole time. And it's kind of like a badass, but doesn't brag about the fact that they're a badass.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a really tough skill to convey to the audience what you're feeling and thinking with just your face without it coming off as like campy or I keep saying campy, but like cheesy or like over the top. Anyway, I thought she did great.
And I think one of the things that helps with the performances on this too was that the directors made it really collaborative. They like allowed all of the actors in the Breakfast Club, quote unquote, to like craft their own backstories pretty much, or like they work together with the directors on them, and they let them pick their own real names. Like when you find out their real names, like Melissa Barrera picked the Ana Lucia Perez or Ana Lucia Cruces, I think is what her name was.
That was her real name?
Ana Lucia Cruces. She says it at the end of the movie because her.
Did I miss that?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't there with you. She goes by Sammy the whole time because they were doing like the Rat Pack thing, and they all had Rat Pack names. And then at the end, she says her real name, and she said she picked that because she wanted to do a nod to Bram Stoker, so Lucy, which is from Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay.
And then Cruces means cross, so it was like a reference to like her fighting.
I feel like she's
vampire.
just doing too much with that.
I like that, though.
I feel like that's too much. That's kind of a mouthful.
I mean, it's authentic, I guess, to being in like a Latina household.
It is, but
which you should know. I'm kidding.
Oh, would you say I'm literally Mexican?
Yeah, you're literally but your name's Jordan, so Jordan. There were a lot of really interesting things about this movie, like the guy who came in and played Dracula at the end, or the
who's that guy?
Kingpin. Oh God, what's his name? His name is.
Who are you? I'm the owner of this house.
Hello. Who are you? His name is Matthew Good. I've seen him in other things. He was in Watchmen, the original movie, Imitation Game. But apparently he came in and he was like, what the fuck is this? Like, they didn't give him the script except for his scene.
Oh, really?
And he was only there.
Why would they not do that?
I think they explained the plot, but he didn't understand. Like, they didn't give him the tone because I think they wanted him to like. And this is my interpretation. It didn't say this on IMDb, but like his performance is completely non-comedic and supposed to be like intense and scary. And I think maybe they did that just to like really get that kind of performance out of him. But he apparently got there and like, you know, his scene happens after the whole room is like covered in blood and both of them. And he like literally walked on set and he's like, what the fuck?
He's like,
And like he went to Melissa Barrera and he's like, what is the tone of this? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? And she was like, don't worry about it. Just like give them like, just do whatever you want with this. Like give them a over the top performance and it'll work. I promise. And it did. It worked. And I really
he was
that.
very scary.
Yeah. He was there for like 30 seconds and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I was quite intimidated by him. Also, do you find it uncomfortable? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm overthinking it. To watch someone die on screen who just died.
Yes, I do. There's something ominous about it.
Because Angus Cloud, rest in peace, good sir. I loved you in Euphoria and in this. I mean, you played yourself in this as well, I think. But you're really great at playing yourself. But
that can be hard to do.
You were really great. Oh, shit. Sorry, that's awful.
It's okay. He's with us in spirit.
I don't know if he's here. Would he choose?
I mean, fair. I wouldn't.
He's like, yeah, I popped down for a little podcast. But yeah, he died before this movie before it was out of production. Like he filmed all of his scenes and then he passed away after he filmed his scenes.
So he was already done filming then?
He was done filming. The film was not done filming.
So I wondered about that. I was like, well, maybe they had like filmed his death, but he wasn't supposed to die until like after the first, or like maybe he wasn't supposed to be the first to die
as early. I think he was scripted to die early.
Okay.
But it just kind of worked out to where he had finished before he passed away.
Okay.
Which
is really sad.
I think it was a really fun performance to go out on. At least it looked like he had a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah, and his death is like, I mean, you don't see it on screen, I guess, but like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun. I mean, if you're gonna die in a movie, you want to go out with like something memorable, and I feel like it was.
Your head falling off is really fun.
Yeah. Woo!
I really love also Catherine Newton. Everything I've seen her in, I really liked her in. I still haven't seen Lisa Frankenstein.
Okay, that was on my list, but I didn't want to get into it. It was pretty good. Like, she is good. And, you know, again, this is an unpopular opinion, but I like Cole Sprouse as well.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I think he's a strong actor, and I thought they did really well. I thought it was just kind of, it was a silly movie. Like, It wasn't like...
I heard it's going to be like the problem with, I think it's a Sofia Coppola movie, right?
I think so.
Her movies, a lot of them are not super beloved when they come out, but end up being like cult classics. I know you hate when I say movies are
cult
cult classics.
instant cult classic.
Instant cult classic.
I liked
Oh no,
it.
she's
It was
Zelda
fun.
Will. Oh, Diablo Cody is who I'm thinking of, not Sofia Coppola. Diablo Cody wrote Juno, and but Juno was kind of universally beloved immediately.
Yeah.
But her other movies, like Jennifer's Body was not really loved at first, and then became loved much later.
I love Jennifer's Body. I
do
watched
too.
it recently.
It
so
holds
good.
up. It's
It
a
does.
fantastic movie. But I think she was really great in this. I think the
She was
muscle
funny.
guy was really great.
He was funny. I thought,
Kevin
you know what? For
Durant.
the longest time, I thought that was Elon Musk.
He does look like Elon Musk.
I literally told people, I was like, Elon Musk is on this movie. They were like, oh my God, really? Now I look like an idiot.
Oh my God, Elon Musk has decided to act.
Did you know? That's why Tesla's moving out of Austin, Texas.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They're moving to Nashville.
Bye.
This just in.
Bye, bitch.
And so I was like, yeah, no, I guess he's like taking over acting.
Well, it's not him.
But, well,
But I only knew that because I've seen him I watched him in, oh fuck, what was that show? The Strain. Did you ever watch The Strain?
oh my God, that was a
was in
long
that.
time ago. That's also a great,
Great show. That's
zombie-ish
Guillermo del Toro.
movie.
It's
It's
a
good.
zombie vampire
Yeah.
kind of combo.
That's
I
a
thought
good
it was
movie.
great.
I mean, show.
He also, fun fact, used his native accent for the film.
Did
he asked, because he's from Quebec, he's Quebecois. I think that's
okay.
what you call people
I
from
thought
Quebec.
I thought it was like a Russian accent that he was doing. It was a
I
very
thought
heavy
so too,
accent.
but apparently that's actually his.
Okay.
It's like French Canadian, but he wasn't scripted that way. He asked, like, could we change it to where I'm from Quebec?
I love that it was such a collaborative experience.
I
How
know, me
fun.
too. I think that makes for a really good, creative process.
I agree.
Because I just watched an interview, not to get on a theater nerd soapbox, but with a theater director who said, you have to be pretty arrogant to like go into a artistic rehearsal and not like realize that you're in a room full of like super smart
Artistic
creative people. Yeah. And like utilize them. So I always try to remember that when I'm directing something. I'm sure my actors are always like, ugh, like, why can't you make decisions? But I'm like, what do y'all think?
Tell me. Just tell me what to do.
I want people to feel empowered. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was fun. I think the ending was fun. I loved all the blood.
I loved all the blood. And the fact that like the vampires explode.
Yes, I was gonna say that. I love that creative take instead of having them like set on fire or something, which is
Or
what
like
usually happens.
either set on fire or they like disintegrate into like dust.
Having like a limb explode or something, so fun.
So good. And the guy's death where he was like, oh fuck. And then he gets stabbed in the heart and he just
So good. And I liked the creature design too. They did the teeth. They didn't do like fangs. They did like animal teeth.
I did like that too. They were all sharp.
They said they wanted it to look like, because she has like multiple rows of teeth if you look. And they want, because that's like the apex predator thing, like a shark or something. They wanted her to look like a fucking shark. And I love
Oh,
that.
she did. Okay. Speaking of which, what's her name again? The blonde girl.
Catherine Newton.
So when she turned into a vampire, did she not look like Miley Cyrus to you?
Hey, I'm Molly.
Did she not look like Miley Cyrus to you?
I guess so.
Look up a photo. Because even the girl sitting next to me goes, that's Miley Cyrus. And I was like, I was thinking the same thing. It looks exactly like Miley Cyrus. It's because they changed the color of her eyes from brown to like a
the
blue.
blue contacts, yeah.
And then she has those big old teeth.
In IMDb, that she said the scene where she falls into the pit of bodies, or the
yeah.
pool of bodies. She said that's the hardest thing she's ever shot, because it was like really hard to swim through there.
Oh, I'm surprised was it really that deep?
I think it was like a pool, yeah, but it was like really sludgy and like full of all those fake bodies. So it was really hard for her to swim through it.
Huh.
I also liked, and you could tell that they filmed mostly not in a studio, on like an actual like
Estate.
manor. Yeah. I feel they filmed in Dublin, Ireland. I was pleasantly surprised.
I was
think.
too. Like I knew I was going to enjoy it because it had such a strong cast. I love a good vampire movie. Everyone is like, would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? I'm team vampire. all day.
They get powers.
Yeah, they get powers, and like I don't want to be awake during the day anyway. Like I'm a night owl.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, I'm used to
Me
it.
too. I'm a night owl too.
Thank you.
I don't feel like I've ever seen this in a vampire movie before. How if you get bit, you don't like automatically turn into a vampire. You can be like puppeteered. I loved that.
I feel like we see it a lot in like werewolf movies.
Mm-hmm.
If you turn into a vampire, like it takes like days for it to come into effect.
Mm-hmm. I just thought that was really cool.
But it was interesting because some people took longer to turn than others. Like Homeboy, when he got bit, it was like 3 minutes.
The Dan Stevens?
Yeah.
I think it's because he got the venoms.
The Venoms?
The venoms.
What do you mean?
Also, I think that because he's the only one who actually turned into a vampire, like his own self, like his own agency kind of vampire.
Like had his own thoughts.
Yeah, which is because he got the venom. Like remember the guy fed him his blood.
Oh,
so he could turn into an actual vampire. I think that the way that the puppeteer thing works is Abigail gets to decide. Or whoever turned you gets to decide when you become one. So she was literally waiting.
But if she turned him into one,
mm-hmm.
but he had his own mind,
mm-hmm.
so she would have had to have given him venom.
Who?
Her like security guy that brought them all there.
She probably did.
And then he turned against her.
Yeah.
But if that guy was trying to get the other guy, are you following me? I don't know their character names.
I think she also gave him agency. Because I think the problem with the puppet thing is they can't do anything on their own anymore.
Yeah.
So I think they turned him so he could work for them. And not like, so he had to be puppeted.
The whole time.
Puppeteered.
Then why wouldn't that guy... Why would he give the other guy... I'm sorry, this is very confusing if you're listening to this.
So I think it's established that they knew each other previously.
Yeah.
So I think he trusted him and really thought he would help him.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that.
Also, the guy that guy we're talking about is Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad.
Yes, I couldn't think of his name, and I didn't want.
Amazing.
He's also in a new scary movie. He's in the Maxine movie.
Yes, yeah, he's in that too.
Although I will say,
I'm excited about that.
I saw the trailer again for Abigail. Well, it was for Maxine, but when I went to go see Abigail, I saw the trailer again. And now I'm like, okay, if I'm going to like any of these movies, it's going to be this one.
It looks the best to me too.
Yes, I agree.
I still don't understand why you didn't like X. I thought it was so good. And so on
There's
par
just
with
too much
all of the movies that we
sex.
love. Oh, you're such a prude.
No, I'm not.
Your
but
Catholic
it's
girl
like,
is coming out.
No, but it's like, I want to see people die. Like if I'm going to a horror movie, I want to see you die. I don't want to see like you riding a dick. Like I could go watch porn if I want to watch that.
I mean, you eventually get to the dying.
I know, but I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like it didn't add to the plot. It didn't add to the plot. Like we could have known they were there to make a porn, but like they could have spent more time killing and less time fucking. Oh,
I don't know.
It's fine. I won't yuck your yum.
The only time I felt that in the movie where I was like, okay, was when Jenna Ortega's character was like, I want to do it. And I was like, no, girl, you're still like a child
felt like
to
I was
me.
watching kiddie porn. It was weird. Anyway.
But anyway, this movie had no sex in it, from what I could tell. I don't think there was any.
I love when horror movies don't rely on one thing to make it good.
Jordan's a prude. She's an undercover.
No, it's not just sex.
Conservative.
No, but sometimes horror movies are bad because they lean too much in the gore, too much in the titties or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that was a big thing in like the 70s and 80s.
And in like the early 2000s for some reason.
Yeah. I'm like, we get it.
A lot of titties.
Lots of titties. We love good titties.
Apparently Jordan doesn't.
Well.
But yeah, any other
I've said what I've needed to say.
I like to think about this movie if I was in this scenario. Here's how it would go. Hi, would you like to abduct this girl for $1 million?
No.
Okay.
I would be like, absolutely not. But
okay.
Anyway, we got 2 minutes left in this thing.
Oh.
So with that being said,
Bye. Oh yeah. If you like this podcast, you should rate,
review, and subscribe.
And
send us lots of money. You can follow us on socials. We are on TikTok and Instagram at Silent Screaming Podcast, and email us at silentscreamingpodcast@gmail.com.
You can also find Jordan.
You can also find
if
me
you hated this
at
podcast.
492-33.
Well, don't learn from watching us, but don't drink in podcasts.
Don't drink in podcasts. We love you.
Bye. Good night. Sweet tight.
Don't let the vampires bite.
No.
That's not the song. That's an opera.
How do I do this?